Welcome back, internet friends. Thank you for joining my channel today. I want to talk about Jack and Lilly for just a moment. There was a new CBC video that came out earlier today, and it talked about how a lot of people that are into these cases like to connect with YouTubers or podcasters. I feel that it's more personable. Like when you're watching a YouTube video, you can connect with the community. You can connect with the creator, and you can talk about your speculation or opinions and connect and trying to think of ways or what happened to these missing children. I think, with the mainstream media, people can't really connect that much because there's only a short clip. There's no chat room really that you can talk to other people, and then you can't talk to the family either unless there's a chat room. So, in my opinion, these platforms are amazing. And also, it gives a place for the family to connect. It's been known that the Rcmp does watch YouTube videos, and they do watch the Facebook feeds and threads. And it's good that they do that. I think it does help. All right, stay tuned.
The case of missing Nova Scotia children, Jack and Lilly Sullivan, has become all-consuming for true crime enthusiasts on social media. Experts say there are benefits and pitfalls. While the discussions can and have led to real-world leads for police, there are also ethical concerns in turning people who are already suffering into content.
Okay, hey guys, welcome to the live. No, it's been a minute or so. Ken's joining me today.
Sunny Austin does this multiple times a week, sits for hours in her BC home discussing every aspect of the disappearance of Jack and Lilly Sullivan. In the chat, members of their family.
YouTubers, true crime community, different. We can sit there and keep these cases alive and keep pushing them out there and have family members come join, talk if they want to.
Not everything that's discussed on Austin's show is based in truth, and she realizes that. For her, it's about raising the case's profile.
It was really about being a voice for the victims, and that's really the core of everything.
Belinda Gray is Jack and Lilly's paternal grandmother. She started watching Austin's show amid a lack of answers. In fact, Gray regularly tunes into more than 10 YouTube shows that are covering the case. She too realizes that online conversations can run amok, but she doesn't care.
To me, the more people that talk about Jack and Lilly, the better it is. I don't care who they are. They can state whatever they want that isn't true. I don't care, because people are listening and Jack and Lilly's name is still out there.
Sergeant Chris Marshall says some of the 800 tips the Rcmp have followed up on were a direct result of the true crime shows that are covering the case. He says in general, these sorts of tips can and have helped move investigations forward.
My experience is that there is a big benefit, but it's like anything, there's risk and reward to anything that we do.
The risk? The tips police know from the outset are false. They are nevertheless required to do their due diligence and fully investigate.
We now have to put investigators on that information, which is taking people away from potentially chasing down actual real leads that are actually based in fact. So that's the complication that can come.
But according to experts, this kind of exposure is a double-edged sword.
I think it's important to remember that every single story that unfolds online, it's real people.
Whitney Phillips says there are major ethical concerns with discussing such cases on platforms like YouTube. Phillips says click-based web engagement is designed to turn world events into commodified content. The attention economy has long driven pop culture and news, in that the most intriguing, shocking, and upsetting information is what people respond to and engage with. But she says that can reduce victims of crime and their families into a consumable product. But Phillips says says the attention economy is inescapable. And so it's up to all of us to ponder the ethics of these conversations.
I believe that content producers, including everyday citizens sharing information, have a responsibility of understanding what their digital technologies might not be wanting them to see in terms of the human impact, the human consequences.
Anyways, if you guys haven't hit that like and share for Jack and Lilly, again, they've been missing since May 2nd of 2025.
Austin says she does make money off her channel through YouTube and donations, but that's not why she's doing it.
So the impact that I know that our channel can have is that we just keep fighting for people to share to the algorithm, to keep the story out there, do it for Jack and Lilly because they're missing children.
Allie Thompson, CBC News, Halifax.
Thing is, when you have a missing children's case and the parents, their statements, there's so many inconsistencies from the beginning. Within the timeline, it raises a lot of eyebrows. And the public wants answers. Most people love children, and they can't stand to see when they're hurt or they go missing. They want answers. And there are certain things that really stand out to me in this Jack and Lilly case. And if one of my videos can bring awareness to Jack and Lilly, to having them found, or to bringing justice to them, then that's amazing. That would be so amazing. So I'm happy to hear that the Rcmp is monitoring these YouTube videos and the chat rooms. Now, one thing I want to bring up is a friend, or more or less a coworker of Daniel's. He actually witnessed them on May 1st at the Dollarama. Remember yesterday's video when I said things just didn't add up? Now, yes, they could have been sitting in the car a little bit longer, maybe eating or, I don't know, maybe talking or something. But usually when people sit in a car for a little while, they're waiting on someone. And when I saw that a coworker witnessed Daniel and Malaya there, I wondered if Daniel was waiting on this coworker. This coworker said that he saw them on May 1st, and this was his summary. Edmund Dixon said he worked with Daniel at the sawmill and saw him at the Dollarama parking lot between 11:30 and 12:30 a.m. on May 1st. They had a conversation for about 5 minutes and discussed enjoying their time off. He also saw Daniel's girlfriend and their baby. He saw other people inside the vehicle and heard children's voices, but did not see who was actually in the back seat. Now, maybe Daniel saw him when he first got there, and that's why it took him so long to go into the dollar store. But look at the time. Look at the time that Edmund said that he saw Malaya and Daniel. It was at 11:30 to 12:30. And if you remember our timeline on Malaya's GPS, that is completely wrong, because they didn't leave their home on Gairloch Road until 12:10, and I'm going to prove that to you. As you see here, you can see that Malaya, Daniel, Jack and Lilly, and Meadow left their home on Gairloch Road at 12:10 p.m. They had a total of 5 visits that day. 2 of those visits are from leaving the house and coming back to the house, and the Dollarama. So that's 3 visits right there. The other 2, I believe, was a Circle K and at Acropole, which is a place where you grab food. So if you come over here, you'll see that they got to the Dollarama between 1:44 and 2:36 in the afternoon. So that debunks the time of Edmund Dixon seeing them between 11:30 and 12:30. Correct. Correct. I'm going to show you that again, where his coworker said that he saw them between 11:30 and 12:30. That time's off by a lot. Maybe he was guesstimating. Who knows? But if you remember correctly, Daniel didn't go into the store until 17 minutes after they pulled into the parking lot, going off of Malaya's GPS. So this is the document from the Rcmp. This is Thursday. They left home at 12:10 p.m. I can verify this with Malaya's GPS. They drove for 39 minutes. Then from 12:49 to 1:27, Malaya was shown at a missing visit, where she was thought to have her blood work. Pretty sure this was her blood work. They went to the Dollarama at 1:44 p.m. She said she went in and grabbed a few things. Then they went to Lawton's. She said she remembered to pick up some Tylenol and diaper rash cream. And then they drove between 2:52 and 3:11. So Daniel said that they stopped at the Circle K. But if you remember correctly, there's only 5 stops. 5 stops. 5 stops. 5 visits completely on this map. So the Circle K really doesn't match up. Because if the first visit was the blood test, okay, well, the first was leaving Gairloch Road. Second, blood test. Third, Dollarama. And then the fourth would have been the Lawtons. The fifth would have been coming back home. So where did the Circle K come from? Just curious. Was that maybe Daniel meant for Wednesday? No, not to confuse you anymore. This is the document from the Rcmp. This is the surveillance footage of Malaya, Daniel, and the baby, and Jack and Lilly going into the Dollarama and leaving the Dollarama. So, this is what I'm going to show you guys. On Thursday, okay, they reviewed surveillance. At 1:53 p.m., Malaya entered the Dollarama with Meadow. Daniel entered with Jack and Lilly at 2:01. Okay, 1:53, 2:01. But their car pulled in to the Dollarama at 1:44. The vehicle parked in a parking space at 1:44, okay? 1:44. But Malaya waited 9 minutes to get out of the car and actually enter the Dollarama. Daniel entered with Jack and Lilly at 2:01 p.m., okay? So, in total, since they parked the car, okay, when they parked the car at the 1:44, when they parked the car at 1:44, Daniel didn't go into the store until 17 minutes later. Maybe he was talking to his friend there. Then they all exited the Dollarama at 2:25. But their car did not leave until 11 minutes later. Some say maybe they were feeding the kids or sitting there for a minute or whatever. But this is the time when the car started moving. The GPS doesn't start tracking until it starts moving. So if Edmund if he saw them between 11:30 and 12:30, they had just left their home at 10 or 12:10. So it doesn't make sense. Has this friend been polygraphed yet or spoken to by the Rcmp more than just getting a statement? I don't know. But it would definitely help, because if you think about it, him and the surveillance, he was the last person to hear Jack and Lilly on Thursday. And then you have Janie, who was the last person to hear the children on Friday. What do you guys think? Let me know your comments below, and thank you for watching.